Welcome to today's video's lesson with Distinction Medic, and in the course of today's video's lesson I will be discussing on a special topic in biology which is named to be digestive system. In this particular video's lesson I will be discussing on how digestion occurs in the mouth, and also on how digestion occurs in the stomach and how digestion occurs in the small intestine. Okay, by the end of this video's lesson you will get to know how to tackle different practice questions based on digestive system. And in this particular video section I will be touching an aspect in chemistry, in biology, which is named to be dentition. So before we start this wonderful lesson, if you haven't subscribed yet to this wonderful community, please consider subscribing to this channel and like and comment and share, and also turn on the notification button to the channel in order not to miss any subsequent videos lesson. Let's jump right into the work. Now, moving on to digestive system. Now we have four stages in digestion. We have what is called the injection, and also we have what is called the digestion, and also we have what is called the assimilation, and lastly we have what is called the ejection. Now what is injection? Ingestion is simply the act of taking in food substances into our body system. Okay, that should be noted. It's the act of taking in food. Okay, now for digestion is the act of breaking down of food substances, okay, in our body. Okay, that should be noted. Now for assimilation is simply the absorption of nutrients from the food we eat. Okay, that should be noted. Now for ejection is the passing out of unwanted substances in our body. Okay, that should be noted. Now let's move to the digestion in the mouth. Now digestion in mouth. Now it should be noted that carbohydrates, the direction of carbohydrates starts from the mouth, and the teeth helps in masticating the food substance. What is simply masticate? Masticate is simply the act of grinding or crushing food before swallowing. That should be noted. It's simply the act of grinding or crushing food substances before being swallowed. Okay. Now, direction of carbohydrates starts from the mouth, and the teeth helps in masticating or grinding of food substances in order to increase its surface area. And also, it should be noted that saliva is secreted from what is called the salivary gland, which in turn contains what is called the enzyme taurine. Okay, it contains what is called the enzyme taurine, which converts cooked starch into maltose. Okay, now it should be noted that starch is a polysaccharide. That should be noted. Starch is a polysaccharide having more than 4 glucose units. Okay, now for maltose with a general molecular formula of C12H12O11. Maltose contains 2 glucose units. That should be noted because it is a disaccharide. That should be noted. Okay. Now this particular enzyme taurine acts best in alkaline medium. Now there is an agent called the cardiac center. It will now regulate the food being chewed in the mouth. It will now regulate it into the stomach. by what is called the peristaltic movement. Okay, and also it should be noted that when food is being passed from the stomach back to the mouth, is known to be anti-peristaltic movement, and it mainly occurs in ruminant animals, which are goats. If they eat food, when the food is digested, they can still bring that food back into the mouth. Okay, that should be noted. Let's move to the digestion in the stomach. Okay, let's move to digestion in stomach. Now, digestion in the stomach. Now, it should be noted that the digestion of protein starts in the stomach, okay, where the mucosal wall of the stomach, the wall in the stomach is known to be the mucosal wall. Secretes, that particular mucosal wall in the stomach will secrete 3 enzymes. Okay, it will secrete gastric juice, which are named to be the renin. It is going to secrete the renin, and also the pepsin, and also the hydrochloric acid, which is known to be HCl. Okay, it's going to secrete this, the pepsin, the renin, and the hydrochloric acid. Now, the word of the renin is simply to chorus make. What is the meaning of chorus? Chorus simply means to break into droplets, like in small babies. Okay, when they drink milk, when they ferment that milk, that particular milk will break into droplets. Okay, that should be noted. Now, for pepsin converts protein to peptones. Now, for hydrochloric acid is one that prevents the decomposition of food substances being taken into the stomach, and it stops the action of enzyme turning, because when enzyme turning acts on the food in the stomach, that particular food will decompose. Okay, now this hydrochloric acid will now will now stop the action of enzyme turning and prevents the food from being decomposed. Okay, the hydrochloric acid stop the action of enzyme turning, so the food will now turns into a semi-solid paste, which is known to be chyme. Okay, and it will be regulated to the small intestine by an agent called the pyloric sphincter. Okay, now let's move to the digestion in small intestine. Okay, digestion in small intestine. Okay, we have 3 stages in digestion of small intestine. Digestion in small intestine is divided into 3 parts, which is known to be 1, the duodenum. Okay, now 2, we have the jejunum. And for number 3, you have the ileum. Okay, now pancreas will now secrete 2 enzymes into the duodenum. Okay, by the pancreatic duct. This is the pancreas. Okay, this particular pancreas will now secrete 2 enzymes into the duodenum, by what's called the pancreatic duct. Okay, now the 2 enzymes are simply the enzyme amylase, which converts carbohydrates to maltose. Okay, now the second enzyme is enzymes. Now the second enzyme is called the enzyme protease, which converts protein to polypeptide, Okay, that should be noted. Okay, now The liver on the other side will now secrete an enzyme into the jet junction via the bile ducts, which emulsifies fats for enzyme lipase. After being emulsified fats for enzyme lipase, now enzyme lipase is now going to work effectively on that particular food. Okay, now let's move to the ileum. In the ileum, the food is now being digested into various byproducts, which are into various byproducts. When food is being digested into various byproducts, now for carbohydrates will now be converted into what is called the glucose. It will now be digested to glucose. Now for protein will be digested to amino acid. And it should be noted that these two, amino acid and glucose, they are the monomer of this. Glucose is the monomer of carbohydrates, while the monomer of protein is amino acid. Okay, now for lipids are also known to be fats. You now converted to what is called the fatty acid or the glycerol. That sugar. Now after digestion, the food will now turn to a liquid called the chyle. It is known to be the chyle. That should be noted. Now after the food is being turned into a liquid called the chyle, now the digested food will now diffuse into our bloodstream, okay, via the wall of the villi. Okay, via the wall of the villi. Now the work of villi is to increase the area of digestion. Okay, the surface area for digestion that is simply the work of the villi. Now let's move to the definition lies in the intestine. Okay, now let's move to large intestine. Now in large intestine. Okay, now it should be noted that the point where this large intestine and small intestine collides or joins is known to be the cecum. That should be noted. Now in this large intestine, this is where the absorption of water takes place, while the fecal material is being ingested out via the work of the anus. That should be noted. Now let's move to an aspect called the dentition. Now dentition is simply the arrangement of teeth in man. Okay, now we have two types of dentition. We have the homodont dentition. We have the homodont dentition. We have the heterodont dentition. Okay, that should be noted. Now for homodont dentition is the arrangement of teeth of the same sizes. Okay, is the teeth of the same sizes, e.g. like lizard exhibits homodont dentition, while for heterodont dentition is the arrangement of teeth in different sizes. Okay, it's known to e.g. man exhibits heterodont dentition. Now we have new types of heterodont dentition. Heterodont dentition is divided to 4 types. We have what is called the incisors. We have what is called the canine. We have what's called the premolar, and we have what's called the molar. Okay. Now the incisors is used in cutting. Is used in cutting. The front teeth is used in cutting. Okay. Now for canine, it's used in shearing and tearing. Okay. It's used in tearing anything. Okay. It's used in tearing. Now for premolar, while for premolar is used in chewing. Okay. It's used in chewing. It's used in chewing. Okay. Now for molar, it's used in grinding. It's used in grinding. Okay, that should be noted. That's for simply the 4 types of ectodermal dentition which is exhibited by man. Okay. Now let's move to the dental formula. Dental formula. Okay. Now let's take man as the first example. Now man has 2 incisors. 2 incisors. One at the upper layer, while 2 at the upper layer, while 2 also at the lower layer. Man also has 2 incisors, and also yeah, 1 canine. One as the uppermost layer, while another one at the downward layer. Okay, this canine, we have 1 canine, and also for premolar we have 2 premolar, also 2 in the upper and 2 in the upper, and I have molar also. Molar is 3. We have 3 molars. Okay, now let's count. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 5, plus 1 6, plus 2 is 8, plus another 2 is 10, plus 6 is 16. Now let's times this by 2. Now we have 2 2. Now let's times 16 by 2 is equal to 32. That's why human being has 32 teeth. Okay, that should be noted. Now look at that at another example. Now for that, the dental formula of that is having 2 incisors. Okay, for cutting, 2 incisors plus 0 canine. That doesn't have canine. Okay, that doesn't have canine. Now for premolar, that also has 2 premolar. Okay, now for molar, that also has 3 molar. Okay, that should be. Now let's count. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8, plus 3 is 14. Now 14 times 2 is equal to 28. That's why that has 28 sets of teeth. Okay, that should be noted. Now we are come to the end of this video lesson. If you found this video lesson helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel, and also like, comment, and share, and also turn on the notification button to the channel in order not to miss any subsequent videos lesson. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.